coming at you live, covering all things professional wrestling. A show by members of the Busted Open Nation. Welcome to the Nation's Corner. Here are your hosts, the Nation's Corner crew.
What is happening, Nation's Corner fam? I am your host, Tony Justice, and with me are my usual cast of characters. Starting from the bottom right corner, he is that man that you all know from South Jersey. You don't want to meet him in a dark alley, him or AK9K. The one, the only John in South Jersey. How's it going, brother?
What's up, brother?
Nada. And to right beside him, we have the dude that you walk down to his basement, you see all the stuff. It's like going into a museum. He's got a bunch of relics down there,
Including
from Mongrovian.
Yeah, thanks.
Including him.
He's the biggest relic in
The one, the only Mongrovian Mike. How's it going, brother?
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Happy Saturday night.
What up, dude? Happy Saturday. And of course, as always,
wait,
we have
Tony,
the one, the only great.
Tony, may I?
Go ahead and take it. Go ahead and take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, not only is she the Nation's Corner resident social media queen, she is one half of the greatest intergender tag team in wrestling today. Three-piece with a side, and the side is GFY, better known as Two Breasts, One Leg. She is the wonderful and talented Debhausen. Thank you, Tony.
Oh man, my intro's starting
What's
to
up,
get
Deb?
as long as Bully's.
There's another Zilla I can add, but I don't know if that's appropriate.
Another Zilla.
I don't know if that's PG.
I was
That
scissoring.
is definitely not PG. I'm doing great. It's Saturday. Let's have some fun.
Yay!
Yeah. I hope everyone is watching us. I hope everyone is watching us on the split screen with NXT No Mercy. We're happy to take over half of your screen tonight. And of course, following it up with AEW Collision afterwards. So hey, we've had a week of pro wrestling, a week removed from one pay-per-view, one PLE,
You can just say pay-per-view.
AEW All Out, and WWE Wrestlepalooza. Huh?
I said you could just say pay-per-view. It's okay.
Yeah.
What?
You can say
What?
pay-per-view, PPV. We don't do PLEs here, sir, until we're on the payroll.
Okay. All right.
Just say it.
So yeah.
If you want to pay us, I'll say PLE.
What do you want to hit first?
Sure,
Deb?
you're the host.
I
You
want to
tell
hit Chad.
us. Yeah.
God damn.
I bet that was to hit her bowl, but that's something
Dad.
totally different.
Kayfabe. Good lord.
What up,
Kayfabe.
Mac?
Man,
But am I lying? No. But
What up, Mac?
I ain't lying. I know my partner.
Let's talk about WWE first. And the week that they had.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was the intro pay-per-view for ESPN, those that watched it on ESPN, I should say.
That's a loser.
It was WrestleVPN-apalooza for some of us, but
Yeah.
anyway,
All I'll say was,
yeah,
it was really nice to watch it in Switzerland. It was really nice. They made nice
well,
audio,
John,
everything was
welcome
perfect.
back. Welcome back.
Yeah. You know,
Well,
I had the
that's what
time.
he's-
I just kind of jetted over there, watched the show, and came home.
Yeah.
That's it.
The presentation, I'll say the presentation was great. I love the package they did for everything started, and then it ended with Triple H in the ring with all the pyro and everything. I really enjoyed that. Um, I really enjoyed the touch they put on it. Of course, WWE always does a great job with their packages, production
That's what she
packages,
said.
and this is no different. Great. I enjoyed seeing all the memories and all the high points from the past 30 to 40 years. And then and also throwing in the ESPN stuff, the throwback ESPN broadcasts and the game, the Sports Center stuff and all that stuff. I enjoyed that. Um, and then to go from that into um, the squash matches of all squash matches, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Um, that that Brock, number one, Brock is huge. I have never seen Brock Lesnar this big, like
Hey man, get
his
all
body
gassed up on
wise.
that
He
protein
is.
diet.
You get big hauling moose out of the woods.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's smelling,
Yeah.
if he's drinking it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shout out to Sam Roberts and Susumu. Shout out on Nation's Corner.
Always smell first.
Speaking of, to divert from WrestlePalooza, if you listen to Not Sam on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, right after Busted Open, the other day, what was it, Friday or Thursday?
Thursday.
Because you have an
Thursday. Yeah. They were, yeah. Thank you, John. Sam was right in the middle of talking about I think Brock and John Cena.
No, it's about the Darby and Mox.
And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just gets distracted by his producer Susumu. What Sam thought was he was smelling a candy bar before he was going to eat it.
Yeah.
And Susumu quickly corrected him and said it was a protein bar. but
Like,
the
that
way
makes a
Sam just busted out laughing, I mean, that was good radio. I was driving and I was popping driving the truck.
I just had
I love
thought. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just had a thought that maybe he's a candy bar sommelier. If Sam didn't see him do it, maybe he was going to take a little bite of it and like swirl it around his mouth and spit it out into a little cup. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's raiding candy
what's the
bars.
purpose?
I don't know. What's the purpose of people taking a sip of wine and then spitting it out, Deb, without drinking it, right?
Shit, you ain't ever seen me spit out wine.
I've seen her spill it once or twice.
Sometimes when something messed up happens here on my side, and then you're taking a sip of wine, you spit it. But that's Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, that part on the show was really good. And John Bay says there's the video on Twitter. Go search it out. It is worth the watch. It is hilarious.
Not saying on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes. And so anyway, just wanted to throw that out there.
Like 20 times at least.
Yeah.
It is a hysterical watch over and over.
It is a good looper.
So anyway, back to John Cena and Brock Lesnar. I agree, Mac. It was horrible. It was just. It's like Cena didn't have a chance. He just F5 after F5 after F5. It was 5 F5s in total during the match, and then there was one more after the match, I think. So, and then it just. I noticed some things like the footage on social media. I noticed there was a viewpoint that I saw of Brock leaving walking away from the ring, walking back to the back. And Nick Khan was sitting ringside, and they were standing up, and he was clapping for him, but he was just giving him the worst side eye. I mean, I watched it over and over. Like Nick was just giving him a side eye, like as Brock was walking back to the back. So, I mean, and everybody was thinking that are we going to have another match between Brock and John Cena? And I don't think so. I think, I don't know what's next for Brock Lesnar, to tell you the truth. But anyway, so John, what were your thoughts on the match?
Well,
on the Brock John Cena match.
It kind of was everything I expected it. I didn't expect Cena to win. I didn't expect it to be a long match regardless. We weren't going to get what we previously seen with Cena Cody, Cena Logan Paul, a 10, 15 minute, classic Cena match and all that. Brock gets paid by the hour and doesn't get refunds if it's less than an hour. So I wasn't expecting a 15, 20 minute five-star match classic between those two, because it's not historically, those two have never worked that way. The most famous, other than this past at Wrestlepalooza, the second most famous match they had was the similar squash, where Suplex City was invented and he dumped Cena on his head, 15, 16 times, and they were over in 5 minutes. It took longer for the entrances than the match did, which is exactly what I expected.
Yeah. Mongrovian, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it was like what John said. It's what you expected, but I was just thought there was going to be some kind of payoff somewhere, or but that was it. It was just a match for that night, and I don't know if they're going to run it back or not. And now we're on to AJ.
And to all of our points, and the great Mad Mac Davis that is joining us tonight, as he usually does.
Yes.
I'm glad they had that match first, because the rest of the pay-per-view was good.
Yeah.
And imagine if that went like near last or last, you would have had this great pay-per-view and then have everything sucked out in 5 minutes. Yeah. So
yeah,
I know the saying, Heyman says you can't be first or you can't be last, be first. But I was glad that they got that out of the way. Hey, crowd was up, big open, all the video footage, the pyro, Triple H, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And we come right back down with a squash match. But then we were able to build up to the end through the rest of the pay-per-view and kind of salvage it. So the placement to me was fine. And like I said, I had no surprises of what they did and how they did it.
Right. Deb, what are your thoughts?
Well, I didn't see the actual match. I was watching the main event of All Out at the time, which I honestly think, there was a lot of debate about like the timing of the shows and AEW moving to the afternoon. I am perfectly okay with AEW doing afternoon pay-per-views from now on. Okay. I love it. I think it's perfect timing, and I think it was timed really well. And I remember even saying this earlier in the week prior to these two shows, that I think it would be perfect if All Out's main event was happening at the same time as Wrestlepalooza's opening match. And that's exactly what happened. All Out's main event, Hangman and Fletcher, was happening right at that time. And like, we were all on Zoom at that time. So like, just from our conversations, like I knew that Wrestlepalooza was happening and that it was opening with that match. Like you guys had said, about the entrances were really grand and everything. And they had that awesome intro video. And then it, to me, it was kind of funny because like I didn't know what was happening on the show, but then I heard you guys pretty much say, well, that was it. and then someone said, "Well, geez, the entrances and that match took the same amount of time. Like the main event's still on."
I just want to say I've heard that phrase many times before.
At least you said it before I did.
But my honest opinion is, and we'll move on to this topic then of Cena's next match being AJ Styles at Crown Jewel Perth. I am much more interested in that. I will tune in for Cena versus AJ Styles. I'm waking up at 8:00 in the morning on a Saturday, but I will watch that. I'm much more interested in Cena versus AJ Styles. Personally, to me, like I totally understand why a lot of people are big fans of Brock Lesnar, but to me, he's only had a handful of matches that I ever was really all that like invested in. His match with Roman, what was that? Was that SummerSlam when he lifted up the ring?
Yeah, he got his new tractor.
Yeah. I think that was pretty much the match from Lesnar that I was the most interested in. Like that got me the most.
His matches with Cody were good.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying he's not good. He's obviously very, very good at what he does. And I totally understand why he is the star that he is. He's just not my particular cup of tea. So to me, I really had no interest in watching Brock versus Cena. So it was just kind of whatever. It is what it is. It's going to happen, and we'll move on to the next match.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very, very glad that the next match is AJ Styles, because I will definitely be watching that.
And to answer Neil, we're not counter programming. We just forgot we forgot that NXT was starting at 7, and we never agreed to going on an hour early to everything. But yes.
How about GFY? We don't move. How's that?
That's it. We're done. Hey, talking about everything else though. That was a great day. There was a great full day of wrestling. I had both TVs on, so I had AEW on, and then as soon as the other one started, I had both of them on, and they really didn't overlap each other that much anyway. So
right,
and it was easy enough to catch up on either.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was very well timed for both shows to happen the way that they did. And I know it's been discussed a lot over the last couple weeks, but it is kind of like just a great day for wrestling fans who want to watch all the shows. I know Sam Roberts had made this point on his show the prior week, is a lot of football fans, like hardcore football fans, will watch as many games as they possibly can. And like on Sunday, tomorrow, there'll be a lot of people that just put on their TV in the morning, watch all the pregame coverage, and just have their TV on football all day. They might go about their day and, do some cleaning around the house or make some food and stuff, but the TV is on with football on all day. Why can't we as wrestling fans have that same kind of vibe?
It was
like
fun.
Just a whole day where there's a bunch of shows to watch. Later on, like late night, GCW is on because they were on the West Coast.
Yeah, and not saying,
but it's fun.
Not saying you have to drink alcohol. If you're on the wagon or if you're straight edge, that we're cool with that. But if you need another reason to start day drinking, at least you have a reason then.
Exactly. And that's one thing I love about AEW doing the afternoon pay-per-views, because it started at 3:00 here on the East Coast. So 3:00 is, I think, a perfectly acceptable time to have a drink. So
it's damn near happy hour.
Right. You start off, you have a couple drinks while you're watching the first handful of matches. But halfway through the show, we made dinner. ate some dinner. Then, like, by the time the main event came around, you know, I was ready for dessert and I was feeling pretty good. Like, come on.
What time is Crown Jewel Perth? What time does that start?
And that starts at 8 a.m. That's not happening.
8 a.m. There you go, John.
8 a.m.
Eggs and eggs.
John,
Bloody Marys for everybody.
It
Yes.
is my day off. I do not set an alarm on my day off.
John has a saying, though.
Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's right.
I know, but
you can't call it day drinking if you don't start in the morning.
I will wake up at a good hour. As y'all know, I absolutely love sleep. Sleep is my favorite thing. I am Snorlax in human form.
Okay.
So I will
wake and bake.
And then I will watch the show when I wanna.
There's wake and bake. So
yeah, it's Neo kegs and
so
eggs. Yeah.
To Deb's point. She made the point about football being on Sundays and on our TVs and all the different games on our TVs, and everyone watches different games, and it's fine. It's coming to the point now to where AEW fans and WWE fans, it's basically like Cowboys fans and Packers fans, or Cowboys fans and Eagles fans. The shit talk that goes on between the two all the time, and it's like it's constant. It's supposed to be it's just football. It's just wrestling, but some people take it to that next level. I mean, I was making the joke with Garza last night, talking about the Cowboys, and he was like, "Yeah, what time does that game come on? It's a Sunday night game." Yeah, and I was up here and I heard him talking. I said, "Yeah, and you'll be watching, even though you're not a fan, you'll still be watching." And he's like, "Damn right." It's because Cowboys is a team that everyone loves to hate, and you're gonna watch it, just hate on it.
What
it's
Tony's
the same
trying
thing
to
with
say is, Deb,
it's the same thing with wrestling.
A toxic Cowboys hater.
Yeah.
That's what Tony.
It's just
the Cowboys.
So I agree.
The Cowboys
I agree with you, Tony. Like, for hardcore football fans to do that, I personally have, like, even when I was more into football than I am now, I never watched games that were not my team. Like, I'm a Steelers fan. I occasionally watch Steelers games. I never really had any interest in watching football games that were not my team. So, but I understand, like, if you know, hardcore football fans will watch all the games regardless of who's playing.
That's right, Dirty.
But I think it's odd because, like, in sports, across all sports, there are those kind of healthy rivalries. Like, I'm a Steelers fan, but I'm in an area that is fairly close to Philly, so most people are Eagles fans. And yeah, growing up, there's just constant, like, Steelers fans hate the Eagles fans hate the Steelers fans, both of them hate the Cowboys fans, and that's okay.
That's the one universal truth in football. Everybody hates the Cowboys. That's the one thing we all agree upon.
Yeah. You know, and
I
baseball,
think, like, in sports, that's healthy rivalries. That occurs in all sports. In hockey and baseball and basketball, there's rivalries with teams and with the fan bases. And I do feel like with wrestling now, because there is the emergence of other companies coming up, that there's not just the WWE.
Right.
It's becoming to the point where it's just like sports rivalries. Some people obviously take it too far.
You always have the vote.
I agree with that.
Minority. That whatever, however, whatever flag they fly, they will defend it with every ounce of their being and continue to do so until they either run out of breath, which doesn't happen.
Neil, not a lie. That is not a lie.
Neil knows.
That is not a lie.
Yeah, so, you know, like, okay, so I was getting loaded the other day at a warehouse, and I was wearing this hat.
Oh, not that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was wearing this hat right here, and one of the workers in the warehouse come walking up beside me.
I thought you had something on your head. Like, never mind.
Sorry.
You know it's how it takes me like 10 minutes to say something because everybody's cutting me off.
Go,
So anyway, the guy walked behind me, and he announced to his workers. He goes, "Well, if we have a shortage of ass white paper," and I knew what he was getting at, and I just turned around at him. I said, "Ha ha, yeah, I heard that one before." And he looked at me and just smiled. And I said, "Dude, I've heard it all, man. You know." And I even made a joke talking about, hey, if I want to go watch our last Super Bowl, I'll just dig it out of my VHS collection. I'll say that. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, and I'll say that. You know? So it's like wrestling, like Deb said, wrestling is becoming that. It's becoming, there's going to be people that are anti-AEW, and they're going to talk smack, and yes, they take it a little too far. The AEW fans, you know, kind of say some stuff towards the WWE. It's just, to me, it's not healthy. A healthy rivalry. It's not. It's becoming kind of toxic in a way. They're wrestling is supposed to be something we enjoy, right? All of it. GCW, TNA, you know, it's supposed to be something we all escape from in our Zoom. We escape kind of the real world in a way.
Yeah.
And it's becoming to where some of that toxicity is bleeding into what we enjoy. And it's our job to keep it out of it. It's our job to keep all the toxicity away and start breeding the just enjoy wrestling folks, you know, because that's what it's really all about, you know. But people just, it's becoming just, it's starting to become toxic to me, in my opinion.
I know. I think we have to remember though that stuff by and large just exists online, and it's not everyone. We know firsthand, just in our group and in, you know, a lot of the people that we interact with, you know, frequently, like most of the people we know watch both. Or, you know, if like, you know, some people choose not to watch certain shows or whatever, like that's fine too. But none of us go out of our way to post on social media, like arguing with people online, like other people do. That stuff really just exists online. And we know that. And you just have to kind of try to ignore that, because those people do not represent the fan base as a whole. WWE, AEW, any company, those people that just spend their days just arguing back and forth on social media, and that kind of toxicity and hate posting and stuff, like that does not represent the entire fan base. And I think a lot of people need to like keep that in mind. Because we've all gone to various shows of various companies, from WWE all the way to the smallest indies you can imagine. And that stuff does not exist when you're in person at events.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, we have so much fun at indie shows together, you know. Just, you know, the meet and greets beforehand, you know, even though we've met, I can't think of a single person that is like, other than CM Punk, or, you know, someone that we're not going to see at these meet and greets that we go to. I mean, we're not going to spend thousands of dollars to go,
meet and greets.
You know, and that's another thing too, the pricing. The WWE is pricing the average fan out.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's becoming a rich man's, if you're going to go to SmackDown or Raw or WrestleMania, you better have some G's in the bank in order to go.
Well, it has become more prevalent in now this TKO era. It's their track record. Look at what they did to UFC. Yeah. Look at what they did to UFC.
And it appears that they're following the same model as they did with UFC.
But it's no different, and since it's part of the topic right now, it's no different in football. Have you priced a season ticket for your team?
Mm-mm.
Not just the cost of the ticket. One ticket for one seat for a season. 3 months, 4 months, we're talking about. Then you have the licensing fees, the parking. It's, can the average person, people can't afford to buy season tickets anymore. The average person can't even afford really to go to more than one game a year. And it's
Right.
WWE is getting to be the same way. And it'll continue to do that until the bubble bursts. And I'm not talking about like,
will at some point.
Coach was talking about, they had 1,200 seats left unsold for Wrestlepalooza. Okay. They're not sweating.
That's not the bubble bursting yet. That's not
when
quite there.
When they go to do a 20,000 seat arena and only 5,000 show up, then they have a problem.
Yeah.
Then they're going to do something about it. But until we get to that point, it's going to continue the way it is. And as much more financially friendly AEW is, they can't be everywhere. So,
right.
Most of us fans are left in this kind of a void area. Can't afford WWE, and AEW, unfortunately, while they're making strides trying to get to more markets and areas, they don't travel too far away from where they know they're going to draw.
Right.
And they've also scaled back their productions, and it's working out fantastic for them. But on the other hand, if you're selling out 5,000 seat events, well, unless you get on them right away, you may not get tickets. So, It's one of these things. People want to support it. People want to go to see. We watch it all on television. Like, wow, I want to go see this live. I'm already down one body part. I don't want to sell another one and every fluid in my body to afford to go to a wrestling show.
Yeah.
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 The point being is support indie wrestling, people.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the perfect thing is, if you're not able to afford to go to the big shows, most places across this country now have an indie company, within reasonable driving distance.
Yeah.
So support indie shows. One thing I wanted to piggyback off of, John, what you said, Coach and Thunder, I think, had a great discussion about the pricing and how it may affect things down the road. One thing that struck me that Coach said was that, he's concerned as far as, years down the road, how this might affect wrestling. And by and large, wrestling is kind of, a fandom or a pastime that's handed down to generations. Of course, there are people like me who just got into it in adulthood because a friend of mine watched it. But for the most part, like, you hear so many stories about people, that used to watch wrestling with their father or their grandparents or whatever. And their grandmother used to take them to shows. And so it's kind of that family lineage that keeps wrestling going and keeps the fandom going. And there's a lot of people that, went to shows when they were kids, and that's that family bonding time, going to wrestling shows with your parents or grandparents, and, people being able to bring their kids or grandkids. That's family bonding. And Coach was saying how he's really concerned about the future of wrestling if that goes away, because regular families aren't able to go to shows. And one thing he brought up that I thought was really interesting and really struck me is especially baby faces, because there's that emotional connection with a baby face that so many people have, like you guys have with Hulk Hogan. And the current generation of young kids are going to have with Cody. If people aren't able to take their kids to shows, are those kids going to have the same lasting emotional connection for Cody if they've never seen him in person?
Right. It's a great point.
That's like really sad to think about that. That's handed down from generations, and emotional connection is so powerful in wrestling, and it's kind of like the root of everything. And if there's a kid now that his dad or grandfather, whoever in his life, is not able to take him to shows, is he going to be that adult? Like, is that emotional connection to Cody gonna last if he's never able to go to live shows?
Right. I
Fair
mean,
point.
me growing up, when I started watching wrestling, the first live event I ever went to was a World Class Championship Wrestling live event at my high school, and seeing Kevin Von Erich live and Chris Von Erich, rest in peace. Kerry was already in the WWF at the time. And then after the show, getting to hang out with Kevin at a restaurant there in Palestine, we got locked inside with him. So having that experience with the Von Erichs as a child, or, as a young, right before I was a teenager, I mean, I'll never forget that memory. And getting to share that memory with Kevin Von Erich, and as a grown man, seeing him at a convention in Oklahoma, getting to share that memory with him. I mean, it was great, and his kids, and sharing it with his kids too. Ross and Marshall were there. And so yeah, and then last night watching SmackDown, Deb, the point you just made about Cody and the kids, his entrance last night when he was coming into the ring, when Paul Heyman was in the ring. Did you notice when Cody was walking to the ring, he came out of his pyro, he's taking his time, walking to the ring, greeting all the kids on both sides of the aisle, and Paul Heyman just standing there, just kind of standing there, just patiently waiting for Cody to get to the ring. And I thought to myself, I wonder how hard it is for Paul to stay in character right here, because Paul's a heel right now, and he's in the ring watching Cody do his thing with the kids, and it's almost like I saw a little smirk on Paul's face, like kind of a smirk, like, because Paul and Cody, I'm sure, they've had their moments together, and just noticing that last night, and you're right, Deb. I mean, as wrestling goes on and on and on, the connection that I had, the connection that these kids have with Cody now, and then what's next down the road? Is it going to be the same? I mean, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. You have to think for a second. All these kids that you're seeing on these shows now, in 20 years, are they going to be able to take their kids to a WWE show, to an AEW show?
Yep.
And it's one of the things, I don't know.
Yeah.
If it keeps, especially WWE, if they keep going the way they're going, I don't think so. I mean, unless you're one of the fortunate few that have that kind of disposable income, great. If not, you're going to be like all the rest of us, sitting on our chairs and on our asses watching on TV.
Yeah. Let me look in my closet right quick. No, I don't have a green shirt with a smiley face on it.
And don't forget, WWE doesn't even do house shows anymore. They were starting to do like the Saturday Night's Main Event as like a house shows at like the the secondary buildings and everything, just for, and then all of a sudden now that's
Saturday Night's Main Event is basically another PL.
But the point is that at least when you had house shows, you had that option. Hey, going to Raw costs this much, or going to a pay-per-view costs this much, but at least you got a house show here and there, but you don't anymore.
And Coach and Thunder when they were having that discussion, Coach kind of made that point too, that, with not doing house shows for the most part anymore, it's just becoming a TV show that you watch. So if you can't afford to actually go to shows, and it's just a TV show that you watch, for kids growing up now, how is that emotional connection gonna last if it's pretty much just a TV show that they watch every week?
The best chance you have is signing up and trying to go to see NXT, but that's a rigorous thing, and it's only
even
really one place.
for these NXT PLEs, they're charging $250 a ticket.
Forget about it.
for these, you know, smaller arenas that NXT is going to. So yeah, and I when Coach was taking a bunch of phone calls, and the majority of the people did say that they just can't go to WWE shows anymore, and several people said it's getting them a little more into AEW because they are able to go to AEW shows, so they're starting to become more invested in that product. And I've noticed the past, I don't know, couple weeks or so, that it seems like AEW is really starting to kind of use it as, you know, a PR thing to their advantage by saying like, hey, we are affordable for families to go to. So they could capitalize on this and use it to their advantage.
Yeah, just like you know, we were saying last week about WWE having WrestleMania in Saudi is a great opportunity for AEW to capitalize on. So it's like AEW is getting to capitalize on certain things. It's like the there's an other side. You know, it's not just high prices with one wrestling company. You have another company that can come in and curb the market. Really, I mean, you know, it remains to be seen what Tony Khan will do with AEW in these senses, but I'd like to steer the conversation from this to AEW because I want to get off on time so we can watch No Mercy. But we were talking, me and Deb were talking the other day about AEW and how, yes, and we were making reference to things that happened at All Out. You know, there were some great moments that happened at All Out, and one of those moments was the return of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus together. So, Deb, I'd like... there you go.
Dinosaur.
Yeah. Deb, I'd like you to take the floor on your points on when we're talking about this stuff.
So I've noticed within AEW the past few weeks, there's been, you know, kind of almost like a returning to their roots kind of thing. I think things are kind of coming together as far as creative and storylines and people coming back from injuries and stuff.
AEW does not do stories anymore! Exclamation point, send.
I think things are kind of coming together that has a level of excitement in the fan base of, you know, kind of bringing back what we all loved about AEW in the beginning. You know, we saw the return of Jack Perry and reuniting with Luchasaurus. We just saw the return of Orange Cassidy. You know, Chris Statlander just became the champion. And the Young Bucks brought back BTE. So there's kind of like a little bit of resurgence of what the fans loved about AEW, and I think it could help bring back lapsed fans. And in the conversation, Tony, that we were having the other day, you know, with the whole Punk situation that happened, you know, obviously everybody knows what happened, and everybody knows that it put AEW in a really bad place for quite a while. And I think enough time has passed now that they're really allowing themselves to move on from it, and the fan base seems to be finally moving on from it as well. I was saying to Tony, like, Jack Perry is the perfect example of that, you know, he was wrapped up with all that drama and everything that happened and all the conflict, and I think it was absolutely necessary for him to go away for a while. You know, he went to Japan for a little bit, and then he returned with the scapegoat thing. And, you know, they did the whole showing the footage, which I feel like the whole purpose of that was just to turn him heel. And in that sense, it worked to turn him heel, but the storyline ended up just not hitting, not working. So I think it was absolutely necessary for him to go away for a while out of sight, out of mind. And enough time has passed that the fan base is really happy to see him back and wanting to see him with the old gimmick, slightly evolved. He's now a man and his monster, not a boy and his dinosaur. So we've got the evolution of the characters. But the fans are really, really happy to see him back and see them reunited as a pair. So I think a lot of things are just coming together with AEW right now that are kind of bringing fans like more excitement, like it was in the beginning era.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say that to your point, it almost seems like they're going to, they knew what worked in the beginning, and it still had that new car smell, and everybody was excited to see it because it was something different. It wasn't WWE.
Yeah.
And then they got away from it. They, instead of sticking, and I'm not knocking them for trying different things or going different directions, but as we all found out, and AEW and Tony Khan found out, when you deviate from what was working, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be great, just like it was previously. So that I think that they got that all out of their system and say, wait a minute, we started as a company like this. We can update certain things. We can evolve certain parts and characters now that we have, more history in. Remember, we're only 6 years in, folks. 6 years. That's it. And we're talking about, this has been a decades-long transition, back in our day, it was 6 years ago, people. So let's put everything in perspective. Have they had stumbling points and dropped the ball on quite a few things? Absolutely, but it's called growing pains. Yeah. And now they are 6 years in. I think overall as a company, especially I'll say the last 6 months or so, between the pay-per-views, the weekly shows, the more emphasis to a certain extent on storytelling and story development, they are doing the best work they ever have done since the inception. Yeah. And still with a cast of main characters that are homegrown. If you notice, we haven't had many lights on, lights off, big announcements, and somebody's here lately. Tony Khan has absolutely realized he has some of the best wrestlers on the planet on his payroll.
Yeah.
Give them the chance to do what they do. And we always say the same thing. The matches themselves are always excellent. The performances are always excellent. They're on par with anything else on the planet. It's those little details, as Bodie says, tightening in the screws. Yeah. That they missed out on a lot of times, or didn't quite hit the mark on it, or didn't tighten it enough. Right. But now they are. They're getting back.
I think one of the things, for a period of time, a lot of criticism was about, Tony Khan needed to build a team. He needed to build a team of people, put people in the right positions, especially on the production side. And they now have Mike Mansouri, which, everybody knows his name, that he worked at WWE for so many years. And, for people that watch weekly, we've seen the vast improvements in the production, in the video packages, the vignettes that they do, just their social media. Like, I've specifically noticed their social media engagement is vastly improved in the stuff that they put out. Like, after All Out, they put out like post-show social media exclusives of people backstage. They put out like an edit of a promo to put out on social media, like a video package to recap what happened on the show. And over the course of this week, I've noticed they've posted stuff on Twitter and Instagram, kind of refreshing people on what happened on the last show. And you know, I saw stuff today of like video packages on Instagram that they're posting. I saw one earlier about Anthony Bowens and Max Caster are being forced to team up tonight against I'm going to call them Chocolate Swirl, but they call them Swirl. I'm going to say Chocolate Swirl. It's funnier. And so that's, you know, that's a whole storyline right there of Anthony Bowens and Max Caster and the slow burn conflict they had, and Jerry Lynn tried to get them to get along and they were resisting, and now they're being forced to team up against is it Shotty Lee and my one of my favorites, Blake Christian. And they put out a video package on social media, kind of refreshing people on what's been happening with those characters that led them to this match tonight. So those little things I think often go unnoticed, but they're very, very important. And that shows that they are tightening the screws. They are paying attention to those details. And they really, really reward the fans that pay attention to the details in the storyline. You know, it's a lot of times things are subtle, but if you pay attention, everything counts.
Well, I think that's and that's exactly the point. Everything counts, especially, you know, fans like us. You know, we watch a lot and we look a lot through whatever's on our TV. You know, we appreciate and enjoy what we're seeing, but me personally, I'm always looking a little deeper. I'm always looking for those little details. Those little things like that pretty dad. Remember? I remember. You remember when they did that and that led to this and this? It's that it's that continuity, that connecting the dots that AEW has recently begun doing that very well. Overall. And on a side note, Deb, Blake Christian much better heel than ever as a babyface. Ever.
Please.
Blake Christian is absolutely vanilla as a baby face, but in vanilla baby heel, it's
and
great.
please, I'm praying to Jack Harlow to let Tony Khan use Lovin' on Me for Blake Christian, please.
I thought you were doing the please. I was please, Mox, go away.
Well, that's another. We know that rant. No reason to go down that tonight. Not tonight. Tomorrow, maybe. Not tonight.
No. I'm not gonna rant. I'm not gonna rant on it. And I gotta say, AEW for the pay-per-views won the weekend, and then Wednesday was.
All right. Here's a probably an unpopular hot take. The follow-up shows for both brands, the Monday Night Raw after WrestlePalooza and Dynamite after AEW, didn't really excite me. I was kind of underwhelmed by both.
I don't think it's a hot take, John. I think it's a true take.
I'm trying not to be
Dynamite. It was a lot of setup. Like, it may not have been a super exciting show, but I think it was a lot of setup for the storylines going forward.
And I
it's video
understand
packages and promos.
Yeah, but
it's still once MJF kicks your ass in that promo, then you realize he's going away. He's gone. So
he has to go on his honeymoon.
I know.
Well, he's
but
just going to kill him if he doesn't.
And then Adam Copeland's gone too.
Mox opens the show. It's just like
well, he's going to WWE. Don't you read the dirt sheets?
yeah. I'll say one thing.
He's going to be seen in the bottom line. It's already done. It's written.
He knows what to do when he wins a ring. Use it as a weapon. So let's just say if Seth Rollins wins that ring with that stupid crown jewel title thing, I hope he uses the ring MJF style.
Yeah. So I just want to say now that Adam Copeland was mentioned, because I had this in mind. When we did see that backstage with Cope and Christian. My immediate thought was like, are you freaking serious? Like, they are really trying to get people to think that he's gonna go have a match.
He ain't gone. He can't be. It's got to be a
No,
work.
I did some Googling, and it was, he had said like earlier this year that his AEW contract doesn't run out 2026. And I also looked up, he's in the Percy Jackson series for anybody that has seen that, and that is currently filming.
Yeah.
So in all likelihood, he's just going off to film the show.
Yeah.
But it got a lot of people thinking.
Sure. Like I said,
Yeah.
he's going to take this time off and go wrestle Cena in WWE and then retire, go back into the WWE Hall of Fame again. I read it on the internet. It must be true.
I don't know where people got the thing where his AEW contract is over. Like, I don't know.
Were the words of Sam Robertson. Sam Roberts. Speculate wildly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never one to really care about.
But he never advocated sniffing glue.
Just protein bars.
Yeah.
Am I blanking?
And by the way, TNA was good.
Yeah.
You know.
Really?
Congratulations to Kelani. Well, first of all, we're saying that Ash had to vacate the title. We don't know for personal reasons.
That was very.
So we're all. That was very shocking and sudden.
Everyone is sad about it. So it doesn't seem like it's a Naomi kind of thing. So I just hope I hope she's okay. We all love Ash, and she really has come a long way. And proved herself in TNA, and it's a shame she had to relinquish the title. But on the other hand, congratulations to Kehlani Jordan, her and
Indy.
And they put on a banger, and congratulations to Kehlani Jordan, the new.
Yeah. And now she gets to lose it in 2 weeks.
Now she gets to go face Indy, and I'm really hoping Indy wins because I'm really sick of TNA not having their titles on their show.
Indy shook her hand up at the top of the stage and gave her a look like I'm coming for
that. Bound for glory.
Indy's a face, and
Bound for Glory is going to be awesome.
Bound for Glory is going to be awesome, and. I'm
going to say it right now. I'm going to absolutely say this right now. If Mike Santana does not win, we fucking riot.
Yes.
And
we riot.
Cannot build that guy up any more than they have. That guy is a martyr for
and
TNA
also,
now.
Could the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys make it any harder for us to root for? In this match,
I already know who I'm rooting for.
They brought it full circle. At first, it was looking like, oh yeah, we'll get together. It's more than that. 25 years. They really told a good, tied a bow on it, nice. And boy, oh boy, man, it's gonna be fun.
As far as that particular match, I will state my intention right now, and it goes like this: Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. And thou shalt not fuck with the Dudley Boys.
Testify, my brother.
And on the TNA tip, congratulations to Mickie James and the beautiful people for being inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Female Hall of Fame this year for TNA.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. And all those people real quick, Tony, let me get on the soapbox for a second. For all the people that say, "Oh, the women's wrestling started with the 4 horsewomen evolution," and wrong answer. Check out TNA, early TNA from the late '90s, early 2000s. There were a group of women there in the knockout divisions that are legit Hall of Famers anywhere on the planet. Putting on a legit wrestling match. This wasn't bra and panties. This wasn't gravy bowls. This was women battling women and having banger after banger, sorry Sheamus, but after banger matches.
And let's we say that WWE. And let's just say Velvet can't wrestle anymore.
No.
Because she has an injury. So it wasn't just prancing around. They were beautiful. That was their gimmick, and they are beautiful women. And that they did their gimmick perfectly. and good. Congratulations to them for that. That is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the way the TNA president Silva is doing it with Tommy, and I love that Tommy must be in the ears there.
Number 487 on the PWI 500.
Right. Wait, that's not his weight?
Yeah. 497.
That's his number, right? That's not the weight.
Well,
I
no,
didn't say that.
Listen,
no, I didn't say that.
Listen, you know what? For someone in the business this long and loved by like let's just say hated by not one person in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still popular with the fans. Case in point.
And still popular, still a face to the
absolutely one of the biggest pops at the Jeff Cannonball
and he's still making it in the PWI.
They hit Man in the Box, and all like whatever how many hundred of people or so wouldn't have all lost their minds. And all he did was
I lost my mind sitting here at home.
Now, if you want to create heat on the boy, ask him when he's, I'm a Mets fan, and then he's drinking out of a Yankees mug, and then he's wearing.
He just hopes everybody has a good time. That's it, and everybody has fun.
Yes, he's the best.
Exactly.
One more thing before we wrap it up. I also wanted to make reference to on the WWE side of things. I wanted to say this earlier when we were talking about WrestlePalooza. Congratulations to Stephanie McMahon for being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
And to the other Stephanie, who is now
Stephanie Vaquer. Yes.
Wait. What's her name?
Vaquer.
No.
Stephanie
Vaquer.
That's Bully's name for her.
Yeah. And I agree with it. I have to
say though, really quick for a wrap up. When The Undertaker came out during WrestlePalooza on his bike, and Stephanie was there in the crowd, I didn't see that coming on what was fixing to happen. I thought he was just coming out to announce maybe the attendance or something. And Stephanie's in the crowd all the time. I mean, they show her in the crowd all the time, like having fun, because I see her as even though she's a McMahon and she wields power, behind the scenes with her husband, Triple H, she comes across as a fan, just a fan. She's a fan at heart. She's been a fan ever since she was a little girl.
But she's not like sitting in the crowd watching the whole show. Like oftentimes people will go out and take their seat when it's time for them to be shown on screen.
It all made sense why she was in the crowd, but they got us and got her on the announcement.
Yeah, because as soon as he made the announcement, her face told the story. Like she didn't know that was coming. And I loved it. I absolutely loved that part. In fact, that was my most favorite part of WrestlePalooza, to be honest with you. That was my most favorite part was watching Stephanie McMahon hurt
from Triple H for what they did to him when they swerved him and announced he was going to the thing, because she was behind that as well. So anyway,
But anyway,
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a bad thing about Stephanie. So
no. She's definitely deserving of a WWE Hall of Fame induction. Cheers to Stephanie, or as Chad would say, toast to Stephanie. I told Chad I would get that in there. Anyway, we got NXT No Mercy on and Collision on after, or actually right now. So hey, why don't we just So John, where can people find you on the socials, my man?
Get me now, as it says on the screen, at John of South Jersey on the Twitter and the Instagram. And also, while you're on the Instagram, you can keep up with the newly decorated, got some fresh stickers for the most dangerous weapon in all of professional wrestling now, version 5. Of course, I'm talking about the AK9K, the Ass Kicker 9000, and you can keep up with his exploits on Instagram at AssKicker9K. And everyone within the sound of my voice, and a lot of you are invited to my birthday celebration next Saturday. It's a day early, but it was the only time we could get the venue. And Creative Pro Wrestling was nice enough to book a show, a benefit show for my birthday. It's not benefiting me, but they said, well, we have this benefit show. I'm like, sure. I'm a charitable guy. I like supporting causes and indie wrestling. So sure, if you want to do that for my birthday, it would be greatly appreciated. So a lot of us will be out on Long Island next weekend. I already have my reservation booked at the fabulous Casa Monrovia. And we're all going to be out at the Creative Pro Show. They just announced, I believe, the last day or two, Dave LaGreca
is
radio
guest referee.
Is your host for the evening.
Special guest referee.
Oh,
yes,
referee. Okay.
Special guest referee, yeah.
Yep. And so a lot of
they better be out. Everyone better toe the line.
Right down the middle.
Yeah. Oh my God, we should do like a whole group photo doing like the LaGreca lean.
Well, if I lose my leg, I can do that naturally. So
you just lean on the ropes, John.
I've always thought about one of these times we see Dave at an event. I want to bring a sign, aka a la Mike from Hoboken side, saying, "I gave my leg for David LaGreca."
Yes, do it.
But I digress.
Yep.
We will be out in
Mongrovian.
Right here.
How can people find you on the socials, bro?
There we go. At Mongrovian Mike. Look for me. I'm there. I'm easy. There's no link to click with me.
That's Deb's gimmick. Anyway. Yeah. Deb, how can people find you on the socials?
That's so debonair. The Twitter machine, the Instagram, the Blue Sky. Click the link in the bio. Y'all know the drill. Next weekend is going to be so much fun. I am so happy to be able to see y'all. I haven't seen Mongrovian, and like, when was the last time we saw each other in person?
About 150 pounds ago.
Yeah. SummerSlam 200. Yes. SummerSlam 2023.
Yes.
Yeah, when you guys all went to see and be at Casa Monrovia
It's been so freaking long. So yes, yeah. I'm so looking forward to being able to see.
It almost makes the drive out there worth it.
I know. I gotta drive up to Long Island.
Yeah,
that's really far.
Yeah. It is.
But anyway, click the link.
Far for me.
Yeah,
I gotta live on Long Island.
That's your fault.
Nah, I love it.
And y'all can find me.
I hate New York.
At Tony Justice, AJFA. And if you're a Metallica fan, like I know all of us are, you know what that means. Ooh!
Yeah.
And as always, thank you all for joining us tonight on Nation's Corner. And we will catch you all on the flip.